maybe your comments on how things went.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm very happy to be with you on the show today. I'm on the road, so thanks for accommodating me, even though that I'm on the road. The elections went well yesterday. It was a resounding endorsement of the leadership now under Tajuddin Abbas and Right Honorable Ben Carlo. For the first time in the National Assembly history, all political parties, APC, BDP, Labour Party, APGA, and others otherwise minded, we came together almost in a collaboration like, and of the 360 votes that was available present at the National Assembly yesterday, only 6 votes of APC went otherwise for the election of Tajuddin Abbas, whereas he received about 354 votes and 6 votes went otherwise. And then for Benjamin Carlo, the entirety of the House returned him unopposed. So it was a fantastic collaboration, regardless of the political ideologies, regardless of the political ideologies, we were able to come together in unison. And that unity is what we expect that will happen going forward under the leadership of Tajuddin Abbas.
Indeed. And well, I suppose a sort of an adjunct question is, well, how are you feeling now, now that you're among your honorable colleagues? And I ask this in relation to the fact that your electoral victory in Abia was something of an upset, because you actually, it was an upset in the sense that you actually defeated the PDP incumbent Speaker of the Abia State House of Assembly, who happened to be a son of a former governor of the state, Chinedum Oji. That was a feat. Everybody has attributed that to the Obi phenomenon, but tell me about that yourself. How do you pull up such a feat?
The Obi phenomenon played a major role in my election. There's no doubt about it. But the same love that people show for Peter, they also showed me, Obi Agocha, and they also showed my gubernatorial candidate, now governor of Abia State, Dr. Alex Uti, in the wise that we had planned, we put forth our plan, and the people who have suffered severe hardship under the previous governments of Abia State, our messages was quite resounding, and they elected myself, elected Dr. Alex Uti respectively. Now, but going forward, beyond that, I'm very spiritual. I believe that God showed up in Abia State and showed His grace and righteousness upon us that enabled us to move mountains that people never thought would have been moved. But we were able to move it only simply because God's love was with us, and He gave us that power to be able to do that. So for now, Abia State is better off for it. New narrative, new vision that is more focused, people who are more determined, more effective, people who are not going to be, in power for the, pre-notions of, taking public wealth off for their own private selves. So we are now coming to serve the people to ensure that we alleviate poverty, create a dynamic economic growth, not just in Abia State, but at national human capital development and infrastructure development. So those are the things that we're working now to achieve in Abia State.
Indeed. Thank you for going there, because I was going to ask you about that. I know you must have a plan. After all, you campaigned, and what now you've arrived, and I wonder how your plan. Now you're going to have to understand that you have 2 constituencies. One, they're your colleagues, your legislative colleagues. You're going to be part of them. But then your base, in Ikuano, my Igbo might not be as good as I want. Ikuano, Umuahia North, and Umuahia South, federal constituency. Tell me about that. You must have aspirations, you must have dreams for your people, and at the same time, you're going to be a good team player, I imagine, in the House.
Well, absolutely. We do have, just like you said, we have the plan to be able to engage for our people effectively. Now, the National Assembly is not just going to be my plan. even if it's going to be my sponsored bill, I will still need the collaboration of 359 other members to ensure that it comes through, the bill sees the light of the day. Now, but for the immediate aspects of what we are going to do, it is my belief that the National Assembly should concern themselves for now with the issue of subsidy removal. Because subsidy, as we know, now has the general consensus. What I mean by that, APC talks about removal of subsidy, PDP talks about removal of subsidy, and we, the Labour Party, are talking about removal of subsidy. So it would appear there's a general consensus amongst the political class to end the subsidy regimen as we have now. Subsidy was supposed to help the Nigerian people, especially the poor, but over time, subsidy created a perverse inducement to the ruling class. A lot of people gamed it. It became fraudulent. So it is now the role of National Assembly to help the executive in terms of how we're going to roll out the palliatives to cushion the severe hardship that Nigerians are facing. And at the same time, investigate, have inquiry as to how the subsidy regimen has been applied. Even if we don't go all the way back, but we should go back at least to the time of Jonathan in 2012, when he wanted to remove it. The subsidy regiments now, nobody knows who's saying the truth or not saying the truth. But there's a lot of fraud in the subsidy regime, so that we need to unearth to ensure that the subsidy regiment is no longer corrupt, but that to have transparency and accountability going forward. Now, there are a lot of monies that have been. There's a lot of monies that were said to have been borrowed by the previous administration, the $800 million for palliative. We need to know where that money is.
Indeed. And well, as you said, you said you really hope, or you'd prefer for the National Assembly to really stay on this subsidy issue in these times. But you also observe that just about every presidential... Yes.
How soon the APC and Labour Party in terms of that is that we have a plan. If it was Labour Party administration, we would have a plan better in terms of the rollout to cushion the effects of the hardship on the people. And secondly, we want to... yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you just said there that had it been your party, you would have planned better. Did I hear you correctly?
If it was the P2B administration, P2B talked effectively about removing subsidy. Now, if it was P2B administration or Labour government administration, I think we would have done better in terms of the rollout of the palliatives initially before the end of the subsidy regimen. But now we're trying to play catch up. Doesn't mean that I do not. It doesn't mean that what the leadership currently is doing is wrong. Yes, the most important thing that we all support subsidy removal, but what is important now is the rollout aspect of the palliative, so that people do not suffer hardship as we are suffering. And we also need to look at procurement. Procurement, alongside subsidy, is what is holding Nigeria down from achieving its fullest potential as a nation. All over the country have close to about 60,000 abandoned projects simply because of our procurement laws. We need to be able to take a look at it, remove some of the bottlenecks that are within our procurement laws to ensure that when we offer or award a contract to somebody, at least we should increase the mobilization to that contract, moving it from 20% to up to 70%. Because the 20%, by the time you sign the contract, and the contractor is able to go to the site, the contractor is coming back again for variation. And by the time he even engages the contract fully, then he would have done about 3 or 4 variations that will be more than the actual contract award. So we need to look at that effectively too, so that when our people go to site, that they are given adequate provisions for that contract to be completed at least at a milestone of 80 to 90%. So that all these abandoned projects everywhere will no longer be there, dragging down our economy.
Indeed, and so as you're saying, accountability is going to be, key. That yeah. As you know, is the that is the focus of the ruling government, the ruling party. this whole matter of accountability. Things are not going to be the same as they used to be. And, you know, that is something that you are happy to join and be a part of. Now, you've spoken about subsidy and also all these interventions, you know, palliatives, as some also call them. But those, important as they are not actually, that's not the end all. There's so much that no doubt you would have planned for and that you had in mind. So I was wondering, according to your list, because every Nigerian, you don't even need to be an honorable member to have a list of things that you would wish fixed. What are the other key things? You know, maybe from the perspective of the Labour Party, the ruling party had a roadmap, so you could pick from that roadmap. What are those things that you hope to lend your shoulder to from the APC agenda for the country?
Well, I can only speak for myself as a legislator.
Yes.
I'm not going to be confrontational simply because I'm in opposition. If there are things that are good that the ruling party are doing that we can collaborate on to achieve for the greater interest of the Nigerian people, please count me in. But where also that I can also bring to bear different ideas in constructively in opposition to what the ruling party may do, then I will also do that. Mm-hmm. My job is to ensure that at the end of the day, that my constituents, they matter above every other consideration, that Nigerians also matter above every other consideration. Our people have suffered a whole lot economically. We've suffered a whole lot from insecurity, from poverty, from unemployment. These are critical issues that we need to address. As of today, we're sitting close to about 42% unemployment. And it is and it's projected again by World Bank that by 2024 it will be 44% unemployment. You're not even talking about the underemployment. Then you're also talking about our debt portfolio. President Buhari must have left close to about 80 trillion naira to the current president. How are we going to service that debt, knowing that 60% of our revenue, 96% of our revenue inflow goes to servicing the debt? Yeah. How are we going to lift people away from poverty? How are we going to create opportunities? How are we, like my principal will always say, moving from consumption to production? How are we also going to tackle issues of depressed economic growth? Human capital development is not at the peak that it's supposed to be, even despite every effort to improve our educational system. And then infrastructure development. Nigeria is one country right now cannot even boast of $100 billion of infrastructure basket, either to improve our power sector, our rail sector, you know. So there are a whole lot of things that we now need to come together across political party to discuss with the ruling party as of today, and then to ensure that the Nigerian people are the beneficiaries of all these great things to happen. If Nigeria works well, it's not working well for APC, not working well for PDP or Labour Party, it works well for the entirety of the Nigerian people.
Indeed. And I don't know, I was reading in the news, I don't know if it was your good self or another colleague of yours from LP, who after a meeting with the president, I don't know if you attended that meeting, had said that, you know what, I don't have any problem, aligning with the policies of the executive, the president, because he probably was looking at, we'll say, a little difference, that kind of a thing. So, and I relate that to when you said that, look, I may be in opposition, but I'm not going to be unnecessarily confrontational. So it's like I wonder if I'm accurate in saying that so far you see something of an enabling environment in there for people, for politicians, parliamentarians to come together and work, as you just pointed out, not necessarily for their parties alone, but for the entirety of Nigerians. Were you part of that meeting with the president?
Yes, but I was part of the team that met with the president. And like I said, we as the National Assembly, we've demonstrated that yesterday by the way and manner we voted. We are all political parties, including Labour Party, all members of Labour Party, all members of PDP, and every other political party otherwise that joined in being a resounding endorsement of a good man. Abbas is a good man beyond being an APC man. He's a man that has common sense. He's a man that has compassion and empathy. He's also a man that you feel good in his company, where when you're discussing with him intellectually, he tries to draw the very best of your thought, and he listens.
Okay.
And he has the right temperament. And I think that is what informed.
Okay, speaking about President Tinubu now.
Regardless of your political party, you vote for him. Sir?
I said you were referring to President Tinubu now.
Hello?
Okay, talking about listening, a listening person.
No, I'm talking about Tajuddin Abbas.
Tajuddin Abbas, the Right Honorable Speaker.
Yes, the Honorable Speaker. So,
okay.
So we have come together to collaborate, to work together as a team.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that we are going to put up constructive opposition. That we will not.
Of course.
But for today, we have come together to work across political divide and to work with whichever government is in power right now. We have had our elections. Matters are in court, but we are a country of rule and order. So that even if the court decides otherwise, that the president is no longer going to be president, that is for the courts to make a determination. But for me as a legislator, I have gone through election. I am now not talking about party politics, but I'm talking about the well-being of the Nigerian people.
So
we need to govern.
Okay.
We need to govern, and that's what I intend to do.
Indeed. And speaking as an LP, as a Labour Party man, well spoken. Now, one moment, Honorable. Mr. George has called in from Lagos here. Let's listen to his call. Good morning, Mr. George.
Thank you.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning.
And, good morning to the Honorable Member of House of Representatives. Uncle Yori.
Thank you. Good morning, George.
Yes. The elections at the National Assembly yesterday, I was highly impressed, especially that of the House of Representatives. You know, it is generally believed that the members of the House of Reps are younger and tend to be belligerent in attitude, but they showed even a better maturity than the Senate. You know, the Senate is composed of people who are older and perceived to be more mature. But the contestation in the Senate was more than that in the House of Representatives. And listening to your guests, they seem to believe or are in the know that Nigeria is higher than anybody, irrespective of whichever party that you emerge from. See that as it may, Uncle Yori. There is this talk about the National Assembly being a rubber stamp. The reason why people have come to that conclusion is because of the attitude of the legislators themselves. Take, for example, the issue of budgeting. From what I know, not what anybody told me, when the budget is presented, the National Assembly members themselves would connive with the MDA officials that bring the budget. And in the process, when you compromise your integrity, you are not able to oversight the function any longer. Your guest talked about procurement. A contract that you know you can execute with 2 billion. You bloat it to 10 billion and share the balance. How will you have the authority to tell that contractor to perform if he refuses to perform and take the money away?
Okay. All right, Mr. George.
The honorable member.
I think I understand. I want to give the honorable member a chance to sort of respond to that, but thank you very much for calling in, Mr. George. Honorable Agwacha, that is a concern. Yes, although I have heard parliamentarians deny it vehemently, you are fresh, you know, but you're a Nigerian, so you know what we have been saying. What would you say to that particular commentary? Bearing in mind that you don't have any experience yet about how it goes in there.
I don't have any experience yet. Just like about 284 other parliamentarians who are fresh coming into the National Assembly. And we are determined to do things different. We are determined to change the narrative by being patriotic first. My view of governance these days is to say Nigeria first. Nigeria is over partisan politics. Nigeria should be, us putting Nigeria together means that it has to be a collaborative effort across all political divides to come to say that some of the mistakes that have been made in the past, that we will no longer toe those lines to make some of those mistakes. So that's why I'm hoping that Tajudeen and Abbas, in the manner that we have collaborated, to give him a resounding endorsement. The same thing with Benjamin Carlo, that they can now set the tone and the direction. If they're going to work with the executive branch, there's nothing absolutely wrong with that. Okay. I expect that we should have harmony and synergy with the executive branch for the benefit of Nigerian people.
Indeed.
For me, I am most grateful for the opportunity that my constituents have given to me to come to Abuja to represent and to speak for them. But I'm going to speak for them from positions that are objective.
Okay.
Positions that are objective and positions that will enhance their well-being and enhance the well-being of my great state of art.
Another viewer, Mr. Yakub in Dokwemu, has called in. Fine morning to you, Mr. Yakub.
Yeah, YORI, once again, good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling.
And good morning to your guest.
Honorable Agwacha.
Good morning. Good morning, Yakub.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think I totally agree with Mr. George. You see, the House of Representatives, they did a fantastic election yesterday than the Senate House. As far as I'm concerned, this is the time whereby the Senate also needs to do. Moving forward, this one as far as going. Moving forward, we Nigeria need to know who somebody voted for. Because you cannot call yourself a senator as a mature as Senate is. Are they trying to be saying that they are afraid of somebody or something? Because this is a democracy. Let people know who you go for. But if you're also saying that, House of Representatives, and then some other guys there, when they were campaigning, some of them made a great Mr. YORI. When you were campaigning, you'll be telling people that I will try to build a school, I will build a road, which is not your primary responsibility. Number one, YORI, which House of Representatives, I want to mention two things quickly. YORI, I'm looking forward to somebody to be able to push for a bill that will turn to a law whereby if you are driving on the road and then the security agencies stop you, ask for roadworthiness, YORI, and then the road is not good. They will be asking for roadworthiness. And then this roadworthiness of a thing, it has been jacked up in price. And then they will be asking for roadworthiness. Meanwhile, our road is not yet operable. So I'm looking for somebody to push for a bill whereby they will put stop to that until our road is very good. The second one is NURTW. I'm looking for somebody, especially coming from Lagos, to push for a law whereby we prohibit them to collecting money where we don't know where this money is going to.
Okay, Mr. Yakub, thank you very much. Let me give the Honorable a chance. Honorable Agwacha, the work has started. You began to hear from the people already.
A lot of people are angry. So you can expect this from millions and millions of other Nigerians. But a lot of people are as well now expecting that things will be a lot better. All these illegal activities that have been going on previously, I believe that the current executive and the National Assembly can work together, like I said, to relieve Nigerians of the severe hardship that most of them are facing. They're facing in unemployment, facing in insecurity, poverty. A lot of Nigerians, about 135 billion Nigerians, are still living below the poverty line. So what are we going to be able to do to
I beg, we just lost the sound. Honorable Agwacha, we just lost the sound, and we're going to seize that opportunity and go on a quick break. Now, when we come back, I hope you can still be with us, but I can see your vehicle is moving. We'll see how it goes when we come back. Thank you very much once again, Honorable Agwacha. Hope you are there at the other side of the break. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back.
All in favor say aye. Those against no, the ayes have it.
What do you know about the legislature, its role in governance, and as one of the three arms of government? Lagos Parliament is here to bring it to you as it is. Here to bring you every detail you need to know about the legislature in Africa's most populous city. On Lagos Parliament, you get a chance to meet the lawmaker of the week. Events are critically reviewed. You can also observe plenary in Yoruba language. I am Abimbola Agbebi. Join me every Friday at 9 p.m. as I take you through the activities of the legislature.
Okay, welcome back, and indeed we're back with, I hope we still have Honorable Obi Agwacha of Labour Party. Yes, you're still there. I can see your lips moving. I can't lip read very well, but we still, it appears that we have this challenge. Honorable Agwacha, can you, I believe you can hear me. Okay, it looks like we're going to have to sort some matters out. So we'll just take this report that was done earlier, and then we'll come back. If Honorable Agwacha is still with us, we'll pick it up from there.
And bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
A roll call of members-elect kickstarts the business of the day. At the end of the exercise, 359 members-elect are on seat, leaving the seat of the deceased from Taraba State vacant.
And that I will abide by the code of conduct.
Former House Leader Halazana Dodogua nominates Tajuddin Abbas.
That the man I'm presenting today is someone who, by providence of hard work, commitment and experience, a man of this repute, a man of this unparalleled record, is no other person than Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, member-elect.
Against the ruling party's directive, former Deputy Speaker Ahmed Idris and Zamfara lawmaker Aminu Jaji throw their hats in the ring. For about 2 hours, members-elect cast their votes using the open ballot. It's a landslide victory for Tajuddin Abbas as he posts 353 votes, leaving Ahmed Idris and Aminu Jaji with 3 votes each.
I, Abbas Tajuddin,
do solemnly affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
In his acceptance speech, Tajuddin Abbas applauds the achievements of his predecessor with a promise to surpass them. He promises to be fair and just.
In the few weeks, we shall be reeling out the legislative agenda that will shape the 10th House of Representatives. We shall work closely and interdependently with the executive and judiciary to give Nigerians the good governance they deserve. We will champion legislations that will uplift the lives of our fellow citizens, promote social justice, and drive sustainable development.
Now that the dust raised by the election of the presiding officers of the 10th House of Representatives are settled, Nigerians will expect that this latest set of parliamentarians will hit the ground running and make laws that will impact meaningfully in their lives. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.
Okay, Honorable Agwacha, we're just reliving some of the, no doubt, exciting moments to you yesterday. you were in the House itself. You've spoken about the Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, you know, as a parliamentarian par excellence. I wonder if you, know or have anything to say in that light about the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, because these people shall be working.
Individuals sitting in the chair of Speaker and that of the Deputy. Benjamin Kalu used to be the spokesperson of the House of Representatives. In that position, he did tremendously well, considering that he was a first-timer at that time. He has grown majority in the House of Representatives, sponsored a lot of bills. But most importantly, he's a man who is committed to the project Nigeria, is efficient and effective and focus-driven to ensure that this 10% is become one of the best National Assembly gatherings that has ever happened in the history of Nigeria. Despite being of a Labour Party, I'm quite impressed with the leadership that we now have in the National Assembly, headed by Tajuddin Abbas, Benjamin Kalu. The only thing that I'm asking of them is to now build upon it, ensure that collaboration and endorsement that we have today by voting unanimously for them is maintained, and that cordiality, that brotherhood can now be maintained and be seen to have an impact in this type of legislation, the type of bills that pass, those that are going to be impactful to the people of Nigeria.
Now, something else that was brought up by, I think it was the last caller, he was highly impressed and quite happy, quite frankly, with the transparency of the process in the House of Representatives, which he contrasted with the Senate. I want to ask you, what's your disposition? Were you surprised by that, or were you surprised by the fact that you had to state who your person was as you were voting?
Yeah, no, it's all about the House rules and the Senate rules. The Senate rules require each members to vote in secret. That's just what happened. The House of Representatives House standing rules says that we have to vote openly. This wise, if your name is mentioned, you stand up and affirm who your candidate is. The House rules is more like an option A4, while the Senate rules open secret. So,
okay.
So I tend to prefer the House of Representatives rules.
Okay.
Allows every member to affirm openly whom their support will go to.
That's a good bit of information there that, well, it's not so much that people chose which way they were going to go. There are rules. There were rules.
Yeah, these are standing rules in each of the houses. Their own rules. The Senate, like I said, in their house, demand that they vote in open secret, while the House of Representatives rules, put there by members previously before we came, says that we have to vote openly.
Okay.
And that is what you saw demonstrated.
All right.
Yes.
Mr. Umaru in Surulere has called in. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Yes, the emergence of Mr. Abbas Tajuddin as the Speaker of the House of Representatives, I think, is balanced the equation of zoning, whereby the Southwest goes with the President, the Northwest that gave the highest vote were given the speakership, while the Southeast got the Deputy Speaker. So by gotten the highest vote by Mr. Abbas Tajuddin, I think this is a heavy thing on him because all the members have given him the support. So he has a heavy task ahead of him. That's my contribution.
Well, I want to thank you very much for indeed making it, Mr. Umaru. Honorable Agwacha, would you care?
The last caller did make a good point.
Okay, please.
Is one point
Continue.
that a lot of people have not taken good cognizance of. You see, the Tajuddin Abbas is a product of zoning. And I have always said that zoning is a good thing where zoning protects the rights of minorities. And in this wise, the Southeast, if we had allowed the elections to be all common affair, most zones will complain about marginalization. But that was removed effectively by the way the APC in the selection of their leadership candidate was done. So the Southeast was given a chair in the presiding table of the House of Representatives. Zoning as well brings about political stability. It brings about political stability in the sense that if it was not for zoning and we had allowed for an open process again, what you would have seen would have been more like, a president being a Muslim, a vice president being a Muslim, and maybe the Senate president and the speaker and the chief judge of the federation all being Muslims. But with zoning, it was now effectively that at least Christians have a seat on the presiding table in the National Assembly. The minority groups also have a seat on the presiding table. So zoning is effectively a good thing if harnessed very well for the development of Nigeria. And that is why you now saw the large number of people overwhelmingly, giving an overwhelming endorsement on Tajuddin Abbas and Benjamin Khan. Again, I will want us to continue to improve upon that for the benefit of Nigerians.
Mm. It's an interesting subject, this matter of religion that just about every Nigerian cannot say he's not thinking about. But then also, a lot of Nigerians say that, it doesn't really matter, that it is politicians who grab hold of those handles and sometimes use them nefariously or,
No, it's not true. No, it's not true. Anybody that tells you that zoning does not matter is telling you the truth by half. It does matter. We're still a nation in progress. We're still a nation where all these primordial tendencies still play. It matters that you are Muslim, matters that you are a Christian, matters that you are an Igbo man, or Hausa Fulani, or a Jaw, otherwise minded. We're still a melting pot. And until we come to an accelerated development, as you will see in other civilized countries where these things don't really matter, but until then, it does matter. And we must continue to work towards a common unity amongst our ethnic or religious colorations. But till then, that is the only way. That is the only way I can tell you that people are going to be, part of a process that works for Nigeria. So it's not about politicians using it nefariously. No.
All right.
I know. Yes, I can appreciate that politicians have used it in one way or the other to achieve their own personal gain. But from a collective perspective, these things don't matter, and we will continue to agitate. I mean, look at, why do you think you have all these agitations all over the Yoruba land, in the north, in the southeast? It's because people feel left out. People are feeling left out to lives of hopelessness and not enough opportunity and despair. And so, but when we begin to bring people
I'm
together,
sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I don't want to lose this call that has come from Arochukwu. Mazi Okoroafo is there and has called in. Good morning to you, Mazi.
Oh. Good morning, sir. Good morning, I guess. Mazi Okoroafo.
Good morning, Mazi Okoroafo.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, my brother. You see, congratulations to the Akpabio and Babas and the rest. Now, question 9 is this. The major thing coming out is the chairman of the committees. That is where you see another ranking of statism, party winner. Because the committees, very, very vital in the sense that these are juicy, they have what we call juicy committees. Juicy A, Juicy B, Juicy C. Now, who and who will now be chairman of those committees, chairman of two committee and committee members? That is what good. That the election has come. What I want all these house members that shall to be said. In as much as the election has come and gone, the principal officers have been elected. Thank God, everything has come and gone. The juicy committee, they should distribute it. That is equity and fairness. all those aggrieved members, they will not be annoyed. They will also be happy. Now, if you come in terms of justice committee, you just silence some particular tribe or some particular region, that's another confusion there. But the question is this, I will advise them that they should try a dividend of democracy, which makes people to say democracy is the best option than the military. They should make us reliable. You have seen that as our president did, that this student loan. We have seen the student loan, which everybody is talking about 500,000 naira. Now, even the student loan, they should also look at it because there are some courses in Nigeria universities, all the Nigeria universities, whether federal or state or private, 70% of courses or 75% are not accredited, and they continue graduating students. The committee of this is if you look into it, because if you graduate a child and you will come back because it's not accredited. How will you go for your service? So we will not even go for your service, just hanging.
Okay then. Okay, Mazi. I beg your pardon, Mazi. Thank you very much for calling in, Mazi. As I said, Honorable Agwacha, the work has started already. Even as you're on the way, the work has started already. You are hearing citizens contributing.
Yeah.
Would you like to? Go ahead, please.
Well, with what Mazi Okarafa said, yeah, I agree. But there are existing standard practices on how to distribute committee assignments in the National Assembly. Let me speak for the House of Representatives. From what we were told in the induction, and from what we were also told yesterday by the Speaker, the distribution of our offices will still follow those standard practices, which is distributed amongst the states. And what is right now, assuming in the Ninth Assembly, the committees that belong to the entire North in the Ninth Assemblies will rotate to the South. And those that were in the South will now come to the North in the 10th Assembly. Then the offices will be shared amongst the states that make up that divide. So I'm very optimistic that the distribution of the chairman,
okay,
or the deputy chairman, or committee membership, that it will also go with equity and justice and fairness.
Just as the President Tinubu had said earlier, there will be a sense of inclusiveness among all the players, and that exactly is what you have said. I think that there's a Mr. Adeyemi. Mr. Adeyemi has called in from Ikotun. Did I get that right? Mr. Adeyemi in Ikotun, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, I'm with you.
Okay, please go ahead quickly now, please.
I want to contribute to what they are saying on the news on your television, TVC.
Okay.
You see, I don't need to speak any big English or any other thing.
We don't like big English ourselves, though. You're not the only one.
I'm just, as an elderly old man in Nigeria, as a citizen, both left and right, I do want to tell the people over there that they are not ready to help. 10 of them, we can only get 2 out of 10 that's ready to help the country, ready to help the poor people. Without that, the rest people, they are thieves, and they have been thieves. They have been doing a lot of bad for the country, and I'm sure the Holy Spirit and the head of the poor men will join them. That's all I have for you.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Adeyemi, for calling in. The contribution of a senior citizen there, he gave you his contribution.
Well, Mr. Adeyemi, I feel your pain. I honestly do feel your pain. The severe hardship that a lot of Nigerians have been facing is not lost, of course, the National Assembly. And I believe that very soon you will see new legislative frameworks that will be, aimed at addressing some of these issues to help our economy to grow, to ensure that we have adequate infrastructure development and human capital development. That is the only way that this country can move forward. But it will take all of us coming together, regardless of the political party that we belong, to say Nigeria first. That for the first time, let's address issues that really, geared towards uplifting Nigerians beyond the large pool of people that are below the poverty line. Nigerians are industrious. Nigerians are capable.
Indeed.
All we have to do is to open up the economic space so that a lot of people will participate, regardless of the tribe, gender, and religion. We are a work in progress, and we are, so far so good. So far so good. It's just for all persons willing and capable to now come for us to go.
Okay then. So in conclusion now, you spoke on it before, but let me bring it up again because of the caption of this conversation, the emphatic win of Tajuddin Abbas, who was elected speaker with 353 votes, defeating Idris Wase 3 votes and Sani Jaji 3 votes. So that was a very emphatic win. And I think you've spoken on some of those, factors that aided this.
It talks about the man. It's not the office that makes the man. It's the man that makes the office. I believe the resounding endorsement that we gave Tajuddin and Ben Carlo is a reflection of their character, their integrity, their temperament to handle the burdens of that office. And like I said to you, when you sit with Tajuddin Abbas, he makes good company simply because he has an open mind, and that is the type of leaders that we want. Tajuddin Abbas is more of a Labour man than an APC man.
Indeed.
He's more of a Labour man than an APC man. You see, that's the temperament of a Labour man. But we're going to work with him. We're going to help him. He is also going to help us, to help the Nigerian people, to help whichever government that is in power, but the era of just being partisan, being mean-spirited to one another, not accommodating one another, not collaborating with one another. Our work we did yesterday in the chamber of the National House of Representatives should demonstrate to Nigerians our willingness to come together to work for them. And they too, Nigerians, must be willing in their private lives to start doing right and to come together to collaborate, leave all these ethnic colorations, leave all these religious colorations, leave all these tribal colorations for the benefit of Nigeria. If Nigeria works well, it works for everybody, regardless of the political party.
Indeed. And I think that's an invigorating place at which we could leave it this morning. And I want to thank you very much for making the time. It looks like your vehicle is stationary now, but you were actually in transit earlier on.
I was in transit to the National Assembly. I'm actually now in the National Assembly.
Oh, okay then. So we must let you go so you can go take part in the plenary.
Yes, we've started work. A lot of people wanted us to go home. A lot of us said, no, we must work. We have started our work for the benefit of Nigerians, and we're going to do marvelously well. At the end of our 4-year tenure, Nigerians will be exceedingly happy that a bunch of people at this 10th National Assembly came together for their own.
Indeed. Our thanks to you, Honorable Obi Agwocha, Labour Party, House of Reps, representing...
For life, help you for life, help you for life.
There you go. But you can never tell. I mean, who knows tomorrow? But I hear you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Agwocha. In fact, that's our program today. Thank you very much for making it possible. And also thanks to those who called in on the program as well. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am YORI FOLARIN. Bye-bye for now.
By shopping. Are you worried about the safety and security of your home at night? Do you wish to know when intruders come close to your home? Or do you want to protect what matters to your family from anywhere at any time? What if there was a convenient, affordable way to keep surveillance on your home without having to worry about wires, installations, or heavy light bills? Introducing the incredible Sidebulb HD Cam, the robotic 360-degree